A spike in migrant encounters throughout the southwest border is putting a strain on resources. Today, U.S. Customs and Border Protection suspended operations at 2 international railway crossing bridges in Texas. They released a statement saying they're continuing to direct all available resources to help process migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. National correspondent Addie Guajardo joins us live from Phoenix, where the surge in migrants is hitting crisis levels. Addie, the governor of Arizona is now taking action. What more can you tell us about this?
Christian, migrant encounters in the state of Arizona reaching a record high, a daily of roughly 2,700 migrant encounters, according to U.S. Senator Kyrsten Sinema. And now Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is taking action into her own hands after she says calls for help from the federal government failed to provoke any action. She signed an executive order to mobilize the National Guard to help reopen the Lukeville port of entry and help deal with the flow of migrants.
In recent months, thousands of migrants have crossed from Mexico into Arizona, overwhelming the U.S. Border Patrol. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, a Democrat, tweeting, "I'm taking action to fix the migrant crisis where the federal government will not." Hobbs signed an executive order to mobilize National Guard members in the Tucson sector to the Arizona border. Hobbs released a statement targeting the Biden administration after she says a letter requesting desperately needed resources went unfulfilled. The statement reading in part, "Yet again, the federal government is refusing to do its job to secure our border and keep our communities safe." A chief patrol agent with U.S. Border Patrol tweeted migrant apprehensions in the Tucson sector. From November 3rd through the end of the month, a record 61,000 migrant encounters. So far in December, 37,000 migrant encounters.
Over 2,700 migrant encounters in the Tucson sector every single day. That's the average, and it's been sustained since the beginning of December. It is a humanitarian crisis for those migrants, as well as disastrous for Arizona's border communities, particularly small communities in Lukeville.
Arizona's National Guard will be stationed at multiple locations along the Arizona border with Mexico. Additional manpower needed to help reopen the Lukeville port of entry. U.S. Customs and Border Protection shut down the port on December 4th, adding hours to cross-border commutes and impacting the local economy. The closures felt across the border as officers at ports of entry are reassigned to help Border Patrol. On Monday, CBP suspended operations at the International Railway Crossing Bridge in Eagle Pass and in El Paso, Texas, while closures continue at Eagle Pass, at International Bridge 1, and at a pedestrian bridge in San Diego, California. CBP says they're now imposing consequences on transportation companies used by smuggling networks preying on vulnerable migrants.
Now, earlier this month, Alejandro Mayorkas, the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security, doubling down on comments we have heard in the past, saying that the immigration system has been broken for decades, adding that the Department of Homeland Security has been underfunded for years, saying that President Joe Biden has addressed the immigration issue by requesting supplemental funding, adding that it's now time for Congress to act. And hearing today from U.S. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, I want to make sure that I said U.S. Senator earlier today, it's Kyrsten Sinema. She spoke with our partner here at ABC 15 and telling them that she is working on a border package and negotiating with people in Congress and in the White House to try to bring forth a plan that can help secure the border and change the asylum process.